So this is what it looks like when I finished. Alright, you want to see how to achieve this, keep washing. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Hello beautiful people, you're welcome to another edition of Golden Stitches. So today I'll be showing you a ruched bubu gown. Is that okay? For those of you that don't really know how to make ruche on a gown, today you have the opportunity to see that. All right, so let's get started. The first thing we are going to do, because it's a bubu style, the first thing we are going to do, this is for a plus size. So as usual, I'm going to mark 18 inches. If it's not for a plus size, you can take 15. Is that okay? You can take 15. 15 is okay. 15 will accommodate the person's body. Is that okay? 15 inches. So the next thing we are going to do, just go to the shoulder line and slant your shoulder. All right, so we take the neckline. I'm taking 3 inches by 3 inches. Then the back is, I'm taking 1 inches. 3 inches. So I'm going to connect. So after we have done that, the upper chest, we're going to take upper chest as 9. I'm going to add 2 to make it 11. Is that okay? Or you can take your 9, anyone you want to. So then we're going to take the hemline, the bottom. So the next thing, I'm going to impute the measurements. So I'm taking 14. Now you have to put with the allowance. Is that okay? So this 13, 14. I'm going to come to the lower hem and do the same and mark the same 14. Then the next thing you're going to do is to connect. So what you are going to do next now, this place, you're going to roll it this way. Is that okay? So the next thing you're going to do now is to curve your armhole out this way. So after you have done that, because we are cutting the front and the back together, and if you notice in the style in the thumbnail, the one side is fuller than the other side because of that ruched area, the gather. Is that okay? There is allowance on this side of the fabric, so you must put allowance on this side, on the side that you are ruching. So you must put allowance. So I'm going to put 4 to 5 inches allowance. So but before you put the allowance on your pattern, please, you have to open the pattern paper out. I'm going to add my 5 or 4 inches. Let me make it 4 inches now, as you can see. So I'm adding 4 inches. So what you're going to do now is just so this is what you're going to have at the end. So what you are going to do is, now I'm going to just use this pen to trace this out, because I want it to show at the back of the other side so that I can trace it out. Is that okay? Is that okay? If I raise it now, you will see that this side is wider than this side. Are you seeing it? So this side now, if I fold my pattern paper, this is what the allowance, you can see the allowance on it. See the 4 inches that we added to, because we are going to ruche this area. Is that okay? So if you open it up, this is what it's going to look like. So this is what you are going to place on your fabric to cut out. Is that okay? So let me show you what it looks something like this. After cutting your fabric, you should have this allowance at the side of your gown. Is that okay? All right. So the next thing I'm going to show you now is the stitching and the interface cutting. Is that okay? All right. So I forgot to mention the fact that we'll be adding slits. Is that okay? To the front line. So what I'm going to do is take from the neckline here, I measured 3.5 downward. Is that okay? 3.5. Then I did the same thing on the interface that I want to use. I decided to use this fabric for the interface because this is the fabric I'm using for the pocket and for the ruche. Is that okay? So after you've done that, please, when you are cutting the interface, make sure it's not the place the slit stopped, that you will leave some inches so that you'll be able to turn it properly. Is that okay? Right. So as you can see, I've cut the interface for the front and for the back. So I'm just going to run to my machine and sew it. I'm going to do the turning to the wrong side. So let's go and stitch it now. Alright, so for those that don't know how to sew front interface with slits, this is how you run it. Is that okay? This is how you run it. This way. Is that okay? Down to the other side. So the next thing you are going to do is to notch it. For those that don't know what notching means, just cut a little slit. This is to enable it to fold very well. So after turning, this is what it should look like. Are you seeing it? So I've turned it to the other side. So this is what the front should look like. Is that okay? So you are going to give it a nice straight press. So the next thing that I'm going to do now is to put the front and back together and run the shoulder line. I'm going to run the shoulder line this way. So after you have run the shoulder line, I'm going to show you how to put the ruching and the pocket. Alright, so as you can see, I've sewn the pocket. Look at it this way. If you open it, this is what it looks like. Do you understand? So I've sewn the pocket. If you look at the picture very well, the pocket is to the edge of the hem. Is that okay? So after everything, I'm now going to fold it this way. Is that okay? Alright, so after that, I'm going to move to the ruching part of the cloth. So what I'm going to do now, are you seeing this shock mark at the midpoint? Can you see? Alright, so you can see that I've marked the midpoint here with my chalk. So I marked 2 inches away from the midpoint. Then to get where my ruching is going to start from, I measured my half waist length. Alright, mine is 17. I'm using 17. Your own can be whatever you measure. Is that okay? So from there now, this is the material or the fabric I'm going to use for my ruching. Is that okay? So what I'm going to do now, you are going to measure like 2 inches or 1.5 from the edge too, because so that you have space to run your sewing without sewing the ruche part inside. You know the rope is coming out through the side, so you have to leave this allowance. Then don't sew. You have to leave the ruched part open so that the rope, when you draw the rope, the rope will be free to draw. So what we are going to do now, I'm going to take it to my machine from these 2 inches here. From these 2 inches here, I'm going to place it this way. Then I'm going to run a straight line this way. Are you seeing it? Fold it this way so that by the time I fold it, it's already folded on this side. I'm going to fold it this way. I'm going to place it on this my line. Then I'm going to sew to the 1.5 inches. To the 1.5 inches that I left here earlier. Is that okay? Then after you measured your shoulder, your waist measurement, waistline, please notch it so that you know we are doing the ruching for the front and the back. Is that okay? Notch it this way so that you will not have one will not go up and the other one will be down. Is that okay? So I'm going to take it to my machine now. I'm going to run it, then I'll show you what it looks like after I've done that. Then I'll show you. So after sewing it, this is what it looks like. Is that okay? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bend it this way. Then I'm going to top mash it this way. Is that okay? But before then, this is the rope that I'm going to use. I'm going to insert it inside. I'm going to insert it this way. Then so that when I'm stitching it this way, I'll stitch this side with it. Then I will now turn and stitch it to the end. Is that okay? So after sewing, this is what it looks like. Can you see it? So let me drag it so you see the effect. Can you see that? Can you see how beautiful it's looking already? So, alright. So the next thing you are going to do after that, remember the 1.5 inch I told you to leave earlier. You can see that I didn't sew my sewing to reach the edge, so that I'll have space to be able to run the hem from the armhole. So what I'm going to do now is to take it to my fabric, my machine. I'm going to run like one inch or half inch this way. Is that okay? Down to the bottom hem. Then I'm going to fold the bottom hem. Then we'll be done with our gown. Alright, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. If you are new here, you are very welcome. You can share our video, give us a thumbs up, leave your comments or questions in the comment section. We'll attend to them. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.